Find a comfortable seat. Allow your eyes to gently close. And if for any reason you need to leave your eyes open, that's okay. Just stare out to some point in front of you. The first breath. Breathing in a long breath. I know I am breathing in a long breath. Breathing out a long breath. I know I am breathing out a long breath. The second breath. Breathing in a short breath. I know I am breathing in a short breath. Breathing out a short breath. I know I am breathing out a short breath. The third breath. Breathing in, I am aware of my whole body. Breathing out, I am aware of my whole body. The fourth breath. I am breathing in and making my whole body calm and at peace. I am breathing out and making my whole body calm and at peace. The fifth breath. I am breathing in and feeling joyful. I am breathing out and feeling joyful. The sixth breath. I am breathing in and feeling happy. I am breathing out and feeling happy. The seventh breath. I am breathing in and am aware of the activities of the mind in me. I am breathing out and am aware of the activities of the mind in me. The eighth breath. I am breathing in and making the activities of the mind in me calm and at peace. I am breathing out and making the activities of the mind in me calm and at peace. The ninth breath. I am breathing in and am aware of my mind. I am breathing out and am aware of my mind. The 10th breath. I am breathing in and making my mind happy and at peace. I am breathing out and making my mind happy and at peace. The 11th breath. I am breathing in and concentrating my mind. I am breathing out and concentrating.
Hello, Foxhound. I have not tried Yukon meditation. I would love to.
I am breathing in and liberating my mind. I am breathing out and liberating my mind. The 13th breath. I am breathing in and observing the impermanent nature of all dharmas. I am breathing out and observing the impermanent nature of all dharmas. The 14th breath. I am breathing in and observing the fading of all dharmas. I am breathing out and observing the fading of all dharmas. 15th breath. I am breathing in and contemplating liberation. I am breathing out and contemplating liberation. The 16th breath. I am breathing in and contemplating letting go. I am breathing out and contemplating letting go. My eyes are not me. My ears are not me. My nose is not me. My tongue is not me. My body is not me. And my mind are not me. That which I see is not me. That which I hear is not me. That which I smell is not me. That which I taste is not me. That which I touch is not me. That which I think is not me. Seeing is not me. Hearing is not me. Smelling is not me. Tasting is not me. Touching is not me. Thinking is not me. The element earth is not me. The element water is not me. Fire is not me. Air is not me. Space is not me. And consciousness are not me. I am not bound or restrained by these elements. Birth and death cannot touch me. I smile because I have never been born and I will never die. Birth does not give me existence. Death does not take existence away. I am that I am.
Hello, Foxhound. Do you know the Candace Meditation Channel? I do not know the Candace Meditation Channel. I will look them up. Thank you. Can you tell me a little bit about the Yukon Meditation or the Candace Meditation Channel?
Peace and blessings. Namaste.
All right, next we're gonna lead into a little restore yoga with Jessamyn Stanley. Get that positioned.
The reason that yoga has become so popular now is because we all just need to feel a connection to something that is bigger than this like technological, handheld world. It's got to be about figuring out who we really are, remembering that. It's about being so strong, so powerful all through your life. Restoring your spirit is all about finding the keys to see within yourself and to really be quiet enough and to be comfortable with being quiet enough. Most yoga flows are some kind of treat for yourself, but this one in particular gives you an opportunity for solitude and space. It's about really just giving up to the postures and allowing your body to become more open and spacious as a result. Hey guys, I'm so glad that you were able to join me today. And today's yoga class is all about restoring our bodies. And a lot of times whenever we think about getting a good yoga practice in, we don't think about the slower actions or the more yin style moves. In yoga, we tend to think of things in terms of yin, which is slower, versus yang, which is more frenetic. A lot of the yang movements are really popular in Western culture because they lead to like accelerated heart rate and getting a lot of like extra flexibility time in and learning endurance and cardiovascular things and all of that really awesome stuff. But the yin style actions have to be worked in as well because they give you that balance, and especially in terms of working on flexibility, there's no better way than to just stay in a pose, holding it, allowing the breath to let you go deeper into it, and allowing your body to truly relax. Because often, we're not really relaxed, even whenever we're trying to be relaxed. And this class is going to give you an opportunity to learn some poses that will give you so much calm. You could jump into one of them in the middle of your day and it'll help you calm down just like that. I always think that props are awesome whenever you're doing a supported class. I would grab as many as you have on hand. If you have a yoga bolster, grab that. If you got a yoga blanket, grab that. Or a regular blanket, grab that. But at the very least, get 2 blocks and a strap, and you'll be ready to get things going. So first, we're going to go into child's pose. Child's pose is an extremely common pose in yoga that seems like it's going to be easy for everyone, but typically if you're larger bodied, it can be very, very painful. So just to start out, I'm going to show you the traditional way that people practice it, and then we're going to talk through some issues that can happen with it. So typically you start trying to keep your hips back at your heels, knees together. You drape your torso over your legs and you allow your arms to come forward. So already, I don't even, even just starting to come into this shape, it's a very uncomfortable shape for me personally. One of the main issues here is that if you have a large belly, this is just in the way. And so whenever you fold forward over yourself, you're like bubbled all the way up. It feels like hell. So the first thing that you want to do is make space for that. I like to slide my thighs really far apart from each other. Some people are like, yeah, just a little bit of the. I'm like, take up the whole length of your mat. Do whatever it is that you need to do to be comfortable. Because there's no scale for this. It's not like, well, if I'm not doing it like that person over there, then it's not right. That's not how it is. You just do whatever it is that you need to do. Second issue is that whenever you are trying to keep your hips back here at your heels, if you've got a big butt, that's basically not a thing. Like when I slide forward here, my butt just comes up because it has to. It's not a criticism or anything, it's just anatomy. So be comfortable with that. And especially whenever you're practicing this pose at the end of your yoga practice, it's gonna be like you're kind of sprawling all the way forward and your butt might even be in the air. That's totally fine. But so you spread your thighs apart, you try to keep your hips back at your heels if you can, but you don't obsess over it. And then you start to allow your torso to drape forward. Now this is a great place also If you've got a blanket, you can slide a blanket underneath the fronts of your knees right here, or you can even roll it up and slide it in the back crease of your knees, just to give you a little bit of extra support. Anyway, so we walk our arms forward, draping the torso down, relaxing the shoulders into every step. My forehead comes down to the ground. If yours does not, grab a block, stick it under, put your head on top. Nice and supported. And just breathe here. Initially, you may just be thinking, oh my God, I'm in this shape. What am I gonna do? So allow the first couple of breaths to be about that. And then start to let go of that thought. Release your obsession. Release your need to please. And as you do that, allow your arms to walk just a little bit further forward. Allow your shoulders to relax. If your head's on the block, you may even decide to move that out of the way. Let it relax down. And just stay here for as many breaths as you want. This is a great introduction to a yoga practice. It's also a great way to take a little break as you're moving from posture to posture. But you want to make space and accommodate your body. So I'll take one more breath here, just like this. And then start to walk yourself back up. Walk it up. Walk it up. And then slide your legs out from underneath you. Come to sit on your butt. So the next pose that we're going to do is called a seated forward bend. And one thing that's not really thought about if you are sitting down in general, whenever people say like, yeah, sit down, and especially if you're supposed to kind of feel yourself plugging into the ground, they are like, oh, that's going to happen magically. If you have a big butt, you're not feeling anything plug into the ground except your butt you're sitting on top of cushions essentially. So what I personally have to do is manually move my butt out from underneath me. It's a whole thing. It's not a big deal. Just scoot it out. Underneath all of that beautiful butt cushioning, there are 6 bones which you want to kind of start to feel plug into the ground. So I'm moving my butt out from underneath me, feel them plugging in, and as I'm doing that, my legs start to separate a little bit into hips distance apart. A lot of times whenever we talk about being seated, it's always about having the legs together, flexing the toes up to the sky, sitting up tall so that when you fold forward, you come all down like this. But you see how my legs have already started to splay apart? If you're big-bodied, and especially if you have a belly, that's just not a thing. It does not feel comfortable to make this shape. And so please feel totally comfortable continuing to move forward with your legs together. But if you're like me, you want to feel good, spread your legs to hips distance apart, or whatever makes the most sense for you. Make space for your belly. Don't pretend like your body parts aren't there. Don't disrespect yourself like that. Even if it is larger than what somebody else has told you that it should be, it doesn't mean that you don't deserve to be there or that your body doesn't deserve to be there. So right now, I'm gonna make space for my belly. Opening everything up, got my 6 bones plugging into the ground. Now I grab my strap. And this is the thing. You may decide that you're like, no, I want to try to reach down for my feet when we go into this forward fold. But I really think it's nice to just go ahead and get yourself set up for comfort. And then if you decide to go further, then you go forward further, but it's no pressure. So I loop the strap around the soles of my feet, holding on to the sides of the strap, flexing the feet into the strap. Oh, this is going to be so good, I can already tell. Inhale, sit up nice and tall. Feel those 6 bones really plugging in. And then exhale, start to walk yourself forward. And so this is an important thing. It's not like you're rounding your spine down. It's more like you're pumping your heart forward. So that even as your belly is here and it's present, you're not ignoring it. You're allowing it the space to eventually, maybe over years, maybe decades, you're allowing it to eventually flatten down and your spine to lengthen out. But let's just breathe here, a couple breaths. pointing the heart forward, rolling the thighs in toward each other, even if the legs are separated, flexing the toes up to the sky. You might walk so far forward with your strap that you reach for the sides of your feet. But you don't have to obsess over this. Everyone's always like, I can't do yoga, I can't touch my toes. That's not like a symbol of whether or not you're a good person. Who cares if you can touch your toes or not? Use a strap, don't use a strap, doesn't matter. But if you find yourself, when you're holding your feet, if you find yourself pulling into the pose, go back to your strap. But on the inhales, you're just lengthening out, and then exhale, folding forward. Flex your toes. Roll the thighs in toward each other. Relax your head and your neck, shake them out. Take one more breath, just like this. Then exhale. Walk yourself back up. Walk it up, walk it up. Use your strap. Now here we go, we're gonna go into one of my favorite postures. This is Baddha Konasana, bound angle pose. I like it because I think it's like a pretty natural human traction. It's something that feels good for a lot of people. But you're gonna bring the soles of your feet together so that your legs come into kind of a diamond shape. Technically, you are supposed to bring your heels as close to your groin as is comfortable. Some of us, that might be like, kind of shine bright like a diamond. Some of us, it might be like a very tight, very tight diamond shape. Whatever feels the best for you is whatever you need to do. But what you should do, especially if you have thick thighs, but honestly for anybody, you can take your blocks, slide them underneath your thighs, and give yourself a little extra support. This is nice because sometimes when you just have the thighs up, hanging out like this, just in the air, it can feel, the gravity pressing down on you can feel kind of intense in a way that's unpleasant. And I'm not saying that you shouldn't get that experience, but if you want for it to be really yummy and restorative, take blocks. Slide them under the thighs. I like to hook my big toes for this. Some people like to hold the sides of their feet. It's whichever you would prefer. But on the inhale, you're gonna sit up tall. Keep pressing those sits bones into the ground. Move your butt out of the way if you need to. Start to pump your heart forward though, just like we were doing in our seated forward fold. Relax your shoulders down. Relax your head and your neck. You don't have to obsess over getting your head down to your feet or to the ground or anything like that. That's not a mark of what the pose is or what it's giving you. Take another 2 breaths here. One more. Walk yourself back up. Walk it up, walk it up. Slide your blocks out of the way. Extend your legs, shake them out. Now this last pose that we're gonna do is probably, honestly, the most difficult pose of yoga, though not everybody likes to acknowledge that. It's called Shavasana, it's corpse pose. Whenever we do it, it's gonna look like we're just laying down. That's awesome, and you can take it as that, please enjoy it. But really what this is a complete submission to the universe. You are giving up every bit of life that you have and allowing yourself to be absorbed into this earth. You're gonna close your eyes, and then when you open your eyes, you come back seeing things that you could not see before. So take this as less of an opportunity to take a nap and an opportunity to soak up and to submit. So I like to slide back just a little bit, extending my legs really wide, extending my arms wide. I like to take up space in Shavasana. Some people like to have their arms and legs very close to one another, but I think it's important as a reminder to who you are to spread open. And you may wiggle your feet side to side at first to lose any little excess energy that might be held in there. You might shake out your arms, your shoulders a little bit, just to work out the kinks, but eventually come to a place of silence and quiet, both inner quiet and outer. Allow your breath to mellow. And give up. Keeping the eyes closed. Relaxing shoulders. When you're ready, start to wiggle your fingers and toes. Bend your knees into your chest. Drop them over to the side. Use the strength of your hands to press up into the seated position. Bring the palms together at your heart. And open your eyes. I'm often asked, what are the spiritual benefits of yoga? How is yoga spiritual? What does that mean? And I'm frequently confused by that question because every single piece of this practice speaks to the piece of ourselves that knows no belief system, that doesn't exist, doesn't go to a job. It is a piece of who we have always been, and something that speaks to a larger truth about this world. And whenever we go into these postures, it's ultimately seeking that being that is within us. And so if you're looking for something that can give you a deeper understanding of who you really, truly are, you can't look any further. There's no need to look any further in this practice. The reason that yoga has become so popular now is because we all just need to feel a connection to something that is bigger than this like technological, handheld world. It's got to be about figuring out who we really are, remembering that. It's about being so strong, so powerful all through your life. Hips are one of my favorite areas of the body, but it's definitely one of the most intense parts of the body to open up for most people. It's that we're releasing all of these tensions that we just hold in throughout our days. It opens up the parts of ourselves that we tend to kind of hide away. As you open up your hips, you're able to let go of all the things that are very difficult to let go of just in our day-to-day life. And for me personally, it's a huge part of kind of able to maintain an overall wellness. Hey guys, I'm Jessamyn. I'm so glad that you're here with me today, and we are going to practice yoga. And this specific area of our bodies that we're going to work on is the hip region. The hips are a really sensitive area for most of us because they hold all of our tension, all of our fear, that like fight or flight instinct, it gets trapped in your hips. So a lot of times people will be like, oh my God, my hips are so tight, or more common than that, my lower back hurts, everything is just so painful. That happens because there's a lot of contraction within your psoas muscles, which are the muscles that connect the top half of your body and the bottom half of your body together. And when you sit down a lot, which most of us sit down a lot, or if you stand a lot, then there's just going to be like constant compression. And the only way to get rid of that is by opening up your hips. For this, I really would recommend actual yoga blocks. I think they give you a certain level of support that's kind of hard to fake. But if you don't have them, don't sweat it. Go find some heavy books. Go find 2 yoga blocks if you've got them, and then meet me back here on the mat, and we're going to get started. So the first posture that we're going to do is a high lunge pose. You know, it can be a little bit intense, especially on the back knee. And if you feel compelled to, you can definitely go grab a blanket for both the high and the low lunge that we're going to do. But at the very least, get your blocks set up right in here. I like to start with my hands on the blocks too. Staying on the knees for just a breath. And then drawing up onto the shins. And then I step my right foot forward. So when I do this, and honestly, you might get into this shape, you got your hands on the blocks, and you're like, Jessamyn, this is more than enough. I don't need to go further. And if that's you, I'm not mad about it, stay here. But if you can, try to shift forward into your front foot so that you can feel your front knee and your front ankle stacked together. When you do that, press into your front big toe. Now, you can see, and I'm going to scoot my front block out of the way so you can really see, I am shifting just a little bit off of my back knee. This is a crucial part of lunging. A lot of times whenever we lunge, we're like, here I am, I'm lunging, and my knee is taking a beating. You want to start to shift forward so that the weight comes out of your knee, and if you're down here on the ground, the weight is honestly starting to come more into your quad. So try to work that dynamic of where you're really shifting forward more, and you're trying to line this front knee up with the front ankle. But for the high lunge, we got our hands on blocks right here. I curl my back toes under, and I let my knee come up off the ground. Sinking the hips nice and low. Breathing, pressing into the blocks, give you a little bit more support. Let your hips sink down to the ground. Breathe, breathe. It's a deep opening. It's meant to be deep. You're meant to feel this sensation. Try to sit up tall. Take one more breath here, just like this. Then when you're ready, drop your back knee down. Shift back. Set the hips down on the ground. Take a moment. So when we do these big hip openers, it's really important to soak up this sensation. There's a tendency in life to just rush from one thing to the other, bounce quickly, because we don't want to stay with things that are unpleasant for us to feel. But the reality of the situation is that you have to absorb this sensation, because this is a part of your yoga. This is a part of the process. Let yourself sit with all of this, jumbling around emotions that you're feeling. Then when you're ready, hands back on the blocks, coming up onto the shins. Left leg steps forward. Press into your left big toe, give you a little bit more stability, and then start to sink your left knee forward. And so you're lining up that front knee, front ankle, hands on the blocks, and you might walk your blocks back. I find that sometimes I start in one place and I start walking the blocks back because my hips have shifted. And again, you're kind of shifting forward off of that back knee, pressing into the blocks, curl the back toes under, shift the knee up off the ground. Ah, hello. Hello, hips. And you're lining up that front knee, front ankle, pressing to the front big toe, sit up tall, press into the blocks, push the ground away. Your heart might even start to pump up. Oh, so good. Throat pumping up. Let yourself feel the sensation. If you need to drop your back knee, I'm not mad at you. But let's take 2 more breaths here together if you can. 1 more. Drop your back knee. Shift the left leg back. You survived. I know you thought you were going to die. It's all good. Shift back on this. Breathe. Absorb. Take it in. Give this action the respect it deserves. So the next pose we're going to do is the low lunge pose. So instead of coming off of the back knee like we just did in the high lunge, we're just going to stay on the knee. So this is where I would recommend, if you have any kind of knee discomfort, keep it real with yourself. Don't be out here like, Jessamyn's not using a blanket, so I don't need to use the blanket. Don't think about me, think about you. Go get a blanket if you need one and slide it underneath your knee, please. But from where you are, hands on the blocks, shift up onto your shins, and then step your right foot forward. So again, try not to get to this place of I'm done with the pose. In a lot of ways, the asana should never be finished. It should be I can always go deeper. So when you come up here and you're on your knee, think, I could shift forward a little bit more. and you may have to inch your front foot forward. You're learning about your body right now, so just figure it out. You might inch forward just a little bit, front knee, front ankle lining up, hands on the blocks to start. Breathe. And the blocks are so dope here in this low lunge because it gives you a little bit of extra support so that you can really sink your hips down. But with the blocks here, you can use them to sort of stabilize yourself like scaffolding so that your hips can just sink. This pelvic lowering, this is your offering to the universe. And so here again, you might start to walk the blocks back, and then your heart starts to pump up then. Oh, it's so good. So good.
Oh.
You can keep your back toes curled under if you want. I like to have them down so that I can feel all of my toes plugging into the ground. But you figure out what's good for you. Roll your shoulders open by pushing in hands into those blocks. And if you want, you can bring one hand up into the air. Oh, so good. Other hand up into the air. Still allow your heart to pump up. Doing so good. Keep reaching the fingertips back. Bring hands down to the blocks. Roll up slowly. Shift back. Sit down. Take that in. Take that in. So, oh, man. No matter how many big hip openers I do, and I practice a lot of hip openers, things like low lunge, high lunge, they are powerful openings. You're giving up so much of yourself. And so when you do this, try to enter a state of, revering yourself and understanding that you are quite a mighty being to be able to do that. Thank yourself. And then when you're ready, hands onto blocks. Let's hit it on the other side. Draw up onto your shins. Left foot steps forward, smack. And then again, shift forward. If you need to, slide a blanket underneath that back knee. You might be shifting your front foot forward a little bit, just like slowly wiggling it forward. If you want, one arm comes up. If you want, the other arm comes up. You can extend through your fingertips so it's like the sides of your body are getting longer. Your heart pumps up. Relax your shoulders back, heart pumps up. Your head might even fall back. Then hands come down. Roll back up slowly. Shift back onto your shins. Oh. And breathe. And you may notice that my mat wrinkles whenever I draw my leg in. So if you are like having to straighten out your mat after doing these things, I'm right there with you. Now from here, we're gonna go into single pigeon pose. This is a pretty deep hip opening. At least I think it's a pretty deep hip opening. So I'm gonna bring my hands onto the blocks to start. If you've still got them in location, I think it's a helpful little starting place from the knees. But I'm just gonna shift my front shin forward so that it starts to come parallel with the front edge of my mat. And then sliding this back leg back. So my right leg is coming forward, left leg is sliding back. And then you just start to sit down into your right hip with the right shin coming forward. Now, you can see that my hip is very close to the mat right now. That is likely not the case for you. I've been practicing this for a long time, and so my body is fairly open, but your body might be like, you're tripping, I'm not doing that. So if that's you and you're more like here, kind of sitting up into the posture and your hip is, a good 8 inches from the ground, take one of your blocks, slide it underneath your hip. Oh God, that feels amazing. That's so good. I'm gonna start. Y'all gonna catch me out here supporting all my single pigeons now. If you want, on the other side, you can also take your second block, slide that under your front thigh, your left thigh. Oh, that's so nice. So I've got a block under my right hip and under the front of my left thigh, nice and supported. In the same way that I would be if I did not have those supports. Oh, that's so good. Now, I do like to keep my toes curled under here to start because I want to make sure that my hips are squaring forward toward the front of my mat. So I've got my hands on my hips, squaring my hips forward, or hands on the floor next to my hips, squaring my hips forward. And I like to keep the toes of my right foot especially flexed, because a tendency in this posture is to just let this front leg go to sleep. So you want to make sure it's nice and active. And we sit up tall here to start. Sitting up tall, inhale deep, then exhale, start to walk your hands out in front of you. Now, if you're not using your blocks, or if you're only using one, or even if you're using both of them, you could grab something else, maybe even a pillow. But I'm going to take one of my blocks and slide it underneath my head. And actually, I'm going to take two of my blocks and set up a little pyramid, put my head right here on top. Oh, that's awesome. And then you just relax. And I've uncurled my toes. When I do that, I'm trying to make sure that I'm still getting all of my, as much of my toe mounds onto the ground as I can. Working toward getting that pinky on the ground, but not obsessing over it. And so initially when we come into this asana, you think, how long will this hell last? And how long is she gonna make me do this? And if that's you right now, have that moment, and then just be here. It's all about allowing yourself the space to feel this sensation without obsessing over how long you're gonna be here. So that eventually you could be here for quite some time. And maybe even lose a block. Allow the head to come down more. Relaxing the shoulders down. Breathe. And gently walk yourself up. Walk it up, walk it up. Bring your hands to the ground. And then I'm just gonna curl my back toes under, and then swing my right leg back, coming onto hands and knees. Oh. And then I'm gonna kick my right leg out behind me on my hands and knees, and I'm gonna kick it out to the side, like I'm a dog peeing on a fire hydrant, and then I'm just gonna switch between those two just to shake out the leg, shake out the hip. Right, then center, right, then center. That's nice. Then drop back down, take a moment, sit on your shins, let that go. Whew. My right hip feels amazing right now. And I know that your right hip might be singing. That is the stage before it feels amazing. But let's start. Drop onto the shins. Then shift your left shin forward. So you're shifting forward at an angle. That angle, again, it might turn into being perpendicular or parallel with the front edge of your mat. Slide your right leg back behind you. And then you might be like here. This is beautiful. This is perfect. Kind of sitting up a little bit in the pose. That's where some of our hips, the hips get tight, especially if you don't typically do this. And so if you've got a lot of gappage between the ground and your left hip, take your block, maybe even two blocks, I don't know your life, maybe a blanket, maybe a pillow, whatever you got on hand, and you just slide it underneath your left hip. Pillows are actually kind of nice for this underneath the hip, because it's like you can just sink into it. And then I'm gonna take this other block, just so that y'all can see, other block underneath the right front thigh. Nice, oh so good. Nice and supported. And then you just sit up tall here to start, so that you feel your pelvis sink down. Keep the back toes curled under to start, so that you square your hips forward, not like popping them out to the side. Shift forward. Keep the front toes flexed, so that you know that left leg is nice and active. If you want, you can lose a block height. Bring the head down a little bit lower. Eventually, you may work so far that you stop using blocks underneath your head altogether, and you just collapse into the ground. And you may come to a place where you want to slide one of those blocks out from underneath your thigh or from underneath your hip. Relax your shoulders. Keep squaring the hips forward. Take one more breath, just like this. Then when you're ready, walk yourself up. Nice and slow, nice and slow. Move that block out of the way. Plant the hands down nice and firm, and then shift that left shin back. Come onto hands and knees. Kick that left leg back behind you. Then kick it out to the side like you're a dog peeing on a fire hydrant. Back behind you, to the side. Behind, dog. Behind, dog. Sit on down, absorb. Take that in. So the last posture we're gonna do is was kind of like my nemesis posture for years. It is garden pose, malasana. It's a big, deep squat. So for this, we're gonna start standing up. So we're gonna come up onto our feet. Get my blocks set up right here, next to my feet. And I like to just start this by, if you watched one of the earlier classes, I talked about, or one of the other classes, I talked about mountain pose, Tadasana. So we're going to start out in Tadasana, rooting into our feet. I like to have my feet at hips distance apart for this. Extending through the fingertips down to the ground. Rooting into the ground, flexing to the toes. Breathing here. And then everyone make sure that you've got your feet at hips distance apart. And then inhale the arms up and overhead and allow the gaze to come up to meet you. Then exhale, forward fold over your legs. Let your heart come down first. Hinge from your hips. Hands come down to the ground. They might come to your shins. Inhale, lengthen out through your spine and through your chest. And then let's exhale, forward fold for just a breath. Just a beat. Then wiggle your feet so that it's wider than hips distance apart. That might be pretty wide. Some of us think that our hips are smaller than they actually are. I am definitely one of those people. Others of us think that our hips are bigger than they really are, and we go way too big. So try to get an honest assessment of where your hips are located, and then walk your feet wider than that. That may seem unnecessary, but I'm telling you, we all have body dysmorphia, and we're confused about what's actually happening. Now, as you're ready, swing your heels in and your toes out, and then start to sink your hips down to the ground. Now, you might get like right here, and you're like, I'm done. This is plenty. Like, I've had enough. And if that's you, stay here. If you can, keep sinking the hips down lower, though. And you might get to a place where you're like, oh my God, I'm almost there, but I'm falling. Take a block, or maybe 2 blocks, slide it underneath your foot. These postures were created with the mind, with the thought of like very small boys doing them. They weren't thinking about childbearing women. So if you're like me, you need to make space for your body. Try to wiggle your arms into your inner thighs. Bring your palms together. Press the palms together and then push your arms into your inner thighs. And then your heart comes forward. Relax your shoulders down and back. Oh, so good. And you're pushing into the blocks. Pushing into your thighs. And then as you push into your thighs with this press of the palms, your hips can start to pop up off the blocks. And maybe you lose the block. Ooh. Hello. Hello, hips. Hands come down. Shift the hips up. Shake that out. Oh. Yes, shake it out. Shake it out, shake it out. Wiggle your feet back to hips distance apart. Inhale. Lengthen out through your spine to your chest. Exhale, let's forward fold again. Now here we go. Wiggle your feet. Wider than hips distance. Heels and toes out. If you want, here's your little block situation set up underneath you. Go ahead, sink your hips down. Malasana. Garland. Arms come into your inner thighs. Palms together. Press the palms together. Push into your inner thighs with your arms. And then you feel hips lift up. Maybe lose the block entirely. Breathe. Breathe. Pump your heart forward. And then just give up. Give up. You cannot be anything other than exactly what you are in this moment. Give up. Breathe. Give up. Breathe. Give up one more big breath. Then exhale, hands come down. Shift the hips up. Shake that out. Lose it. Oh, yes. Yes, shake it out, shake it out, shake it out. Drop on down to your knees. Or sit on your butt. Whatever feels the best for you. Soak that up. So again, there's a lot of sensation that we feel. And we often mistake that sensation for pain. And we say, oh my God, this hurts. I can't do this, it hurts. I get that. But it's not really that it hurts. It's that you're releasing pain that has been inside of you. It's not physical pain, it's emotional. It's things that you have to get beyond. I think the thing that I would like for everyone to really remember is that this is a process. You cannot just walk into, especially hip openers being the example, but you can't walk into yoga in general thinking that you're gonna get everything the first time you do it. Or that if you feel a lot of sensation, that somehow means that you shouldn't be doing it. Feeling a lot of sensation means that you should be doing it. It means that you need that work. Usually when things are difficult, that's when we stop. That's when you need to continue. And you just keep coming back to it because it gets easier the more that you do it. And I know that whenever you first start practicing yoga, there's so many moments like that where you're just like, I don't know if this is for me. You know, I thought this was gonna be a lot easier, especially if you see someone who's larger bodied and you see me doing certain postures and you're like, I can do that. And then you start doing it and you're like, oh my God, I can't do that. And when you come up to those moments, it's important to remember that I didn't start doing this yesterday. You know, I didn't start doing it even last week. And my body is going to be moving in a way that yours isn't. And you can't judge your development and your growth by someone else's, by mine, by anyone else's, because ultimately your journey is your path. And that's all you need. It doesn't have anything to do with another human being. And your path may be slow and it may be long, but it's yours. And that's the yoga that you need.
So I just want you to close your eyes and I want you to listen to me. You're going to be totally relaxed, Just sit and relax. Let yourself relax. You're going to totally relax, totally. Let your body relax. You're going to stay awake. You're not going to go to sleep. You're going to be totally relaxed. You're going to listen to every word I say. You just listen to my voice. You listen to my voice. You only hear my voice. Your body is going to remain exactly as it is. You're not going to go to sleep. You're going to be consciously aware of everything I say. It's going to be very clear in your mind, just as the chair under you is clear in your mind. You hear my voice. You hear nothing but my voice, all right? Everything I say is energy that's flowing from me and is flowing through you. We make a very strong connection. I want you to imagine your whole body moving into a very relaxed state. You're not going to go to sleep. You'll remain upright on your chair. But your body is becoming lighter and lighter. Your whole being is totally relaxed, totally relaxed. I just want you to hear my voice. You hear nothing but my voice. We're letting everything I'm saying flow right into your consciousness. It is the most magnificent feeling. You actually feel the energy flowing into your consciousness. You're so totally relaxed. It's flowing to and through you. I'm going to count from 5 down to 1. Each time I count a number, you're going to let yourself sink deeper and deeper into a relaxed state. You hear every word I'm saying. You hear everything I'm saying. And you're totally relaxed. Totally relaxed. Each time I go down one number, you find your body becoming more and more relaxed. You're totally relaxed. We're going down now from 5 to 4 to 3, and you're sinking deeper and deeper into a relaxed state. You feel so good. Now we're going down to 3 to 2 to 1, and you're so relaxed. You're so totally relaxed. It's a wonderful feeling. I mean, you only hear my voice. You hear nothing but my voice. Now, you and I are going to step on an elevator, and this elevator is going to go down. It's going down. We're on the 10th floor. We're going down to the 1st floor. Each time we go down the floor, your body becomes more and more relaxed. We're going down from 10 to 9, 8, 7. You're becoming more and more relaxed. Your body's lighter, lighter, and lighter. You only hear my voice. You hear nothing but my voice. You're totally relaxed. We're going down now. 6, 5 to 4 to 3. You are so open, you're going to step into your room of images. This is like a celestial place. It is the most beautiful room you have ever been in. There's nothing like it. Absolutely nothing like it. Everything is just phenomenal. The door's open. Now you step into your room of images. This is where you go when you want to be good to you. Now you're finding yourself in a very relaxed place. You're laying down and you're totally relaxed, totally relaxed, totally relaxed. You just hear my voice. You hear nothing but my voice. You can actually feel the energy flowing into your being, and your body's becoming more and more relaxed, more and more relaxed. Now, as I put my hands on your shoulder, you're going to feel a charge of energy that is unreal. It's going to move into your body. Every molecule in your body is going to become strong and healthy and alert. The second I put my hands on you, you're going to feel the energy, just like a rush of energy. It's moving into every cell of your being, and your body is becoming stronger and healthier and more relaxed. There, just feel that. Feel that energy flowing into you. It's such a beautiful energy, and it's charging every cell in your being. You have a feeling now of health. There's a dynamic that you're feeling that you have never experienced. You see now that you're going to move into a place of prosperity where money will never be a problem. It's just going to keep fixing itself, going to keep getting better until you are in a marvelous financial situation. It's so good. And your body's becoming healthier and healthier, stronger and stronger. And you're totally relaxed, totally relaxed. You just hear my voice. This beautiful energy is flowing to and through you. And understand every word I'm saying is recorded in your brain. And in a millisecond, you can go back into this magnificent state that you experience right now. You could do it on a crowded subway. You're in charge of you. You are controlling the vibration of the body. Your body is moving into a healthier, more dynamic, more powerful vibration, and you're staying in it constantly. I'm going to put a coin in your hand, and you're going to make certain that coin is with you wherever you go. One side is E. That's the environment. That's thinking the way all people think about almost all things. The other side is the G. And that's where you're working in harmony with God's laws. That's the power for everything there ever was or ever will be. It's flowing to and through you, and it'll give you everything you ask for. You're so totally relaxed, totally relaxed. It's a magnificent feeling you're experiencing. You're so totally relaxed, totally relaxed, totally relaxed. I'm going to put this under your palm on your right hand, and you're going to feel that, and there's a feeling coming with it. The G is pressing against your hand. Understand, that is a physical instrument that represents an infinite power. That's the Spirit of God flowing to and through you, and it will give you whatever you ask for. It will keep you in an absolutely magnificent, healthy vibration. It will keep you in such a prosperous vibration that your financial situation will continually improve day in, day out. It will keep you in such a wonderful vibration that you will find yourself surrounded by people who are good people. They care, and their friendships like you have never heard of. This is such a magnificent vibration. You attract all things to you that are good. You're in that vibration now. You have let yourself go there. Everything I'm saying is programmed deep into your marvelous mind. Let yourself experience this deep, meaningful feel of gratitude. You're totally relaxed. I'm going to count from 1 to 10. Each time I count a number, you're going to move up. You're going to feel like there's phenomenal charges of energy flowing to and through you. They're just enormous charges of energy. On the count of 10, you're going to open your eyes, you're going to have a smile on your face, you're going to feel like you've had a wonderful rest. Each time I count a number from 1 to 10, new energy will flow into you. It's the most magnificent experience. In everything I've said, everything that is programmed into your mind, it's in cells in your brain. It's there at will. Understand the body cannot be ill in a healthy vibration. Understand the person cannot be poor in a prosperous vibration. Understand the person cannot be alone and lonely when they're in a gregarious, loving relationships vibration. Everything in your life is going to get better for you. Every aspect of it. There's nothing that you can touch that isn't going to improve. Everything's going to improve because you've got that touch. You've got the magic. You're going to do things you never dreamed of. You're so relaxed. It's so powerful. So powerful. So powerful. Coming up from 1, 2, 3, you're feeling new energy flow into you. It's just coming in from every section of your being, every spot in your body. We're up to 4 and 5. It's a phenomenal energy. You can feel it. It's just lifting you to a higher level. You're up to 6, to 7, to 8. There's a phenomenal power moving into you. It's a feeling like you've never experienced. On the count of 10, you're going to open your eyes as if you feel like you've had a wonderful rest. We're at 7, 8, 9, 10. Now, just relax and let yourself be aware of what we've been doing. We're asking. Ask and you'll receive. What? Whatever you ask for. You ask in the form of thought. Don't ask, talk, or think about anything you don't want. Just ask, think, and receive, graciously receive everything you want. The trick is willingly give and graciously receive. Every aspect of your life. Now I want you to listen to this often. I want you to listen to it often. I want you to listen to it and understand this is being directed with and through you. And it's going to keep getting stronger. And you're going to live healthier, happier, more fulfilled lives. You're totally relaxed, totally relaxed. I'm going to suggest you listen to this every day. Totally relaxed.
I hope you enjoyed this video. We put a lot of good information up here, and it causes everything in your life to get better. If you'd like us to notify you every time you put a new video up, hit subscribe and then turn on notifications. Check out all our videos, and we will